Goodbye. See you at the photo op. Makeup on the pillow. Can we get a different question?
Can we get one about Vietnam or something? Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Jeez.
Hi.
Hi.
I was just wondering what scenes of each other's are you most proud of?
What scenes of each other's am I
Yes.
most proud of? Oh wow, that's a good question. I love the one when Sam was dead. The speech over the bed. I love the one about torturing people in hell. Torturing people in hell. Those are the two.
Basically, any scene that I'm crying like a little baby.
The more miserable Dean is, the more I'm like, yeah, I feel like those two probably stick out to me as, the reason they stick out is because, funny enough, those are probably, even though one I was dead, those are probably the two most stressful scenes that I've had to do. Because when you're doing a scene like that and somebody's doing a killer job and it's a great scene and they've knocked it out of the park, you don't want to mess up. You don't want to and you can act for 1,000 years and you'll flub a line every now and again. You'll do something, your phone will, or something will happen. So you're just sitting there going like, I remember trying to hold the bed. Rob? I remember trying to stay as still as possible, and I was like trying to hold my breath because I knew he was in a mode where he was seeing his brother dead, and kind of getting torn apart. And I remember trying so hard not to move, and then you're sort of sitting there and you're like, oh crap. And Kim Manners had locked the set up and had asked everybody to, go take a break if you didn't have to be there. So I remember those being stressful for me, which is funny because you just want to make sure that you let them do their best work, Most of the time I don't care, we're always horsing around and all that. So.
I'd have to say when he played Satan in a white suit. And I was a little upset with him about it too, because it was an episode that was basically all Dean. In fact, it was Dean and Dean.
I was in Maui.
You were in Maui while I was trying to do a scene with my stunt double, who was most certainly not an actor, but was much better than the actor that they hired to come and read lines opposite me and be the other Dean when I was being the.
How do you think I feel?
So anyway, he's off in Hawaii enjoying his time, and I'm on set stressing out and doing filling one of the taller orders I've had in a long time. And then he flies back in, he's all rested and tan, and then he just knocks this scene out of the park as Lucifer, and I'm like, great, all that work, and you're the one they're gonna remember. But I had to give it to him. It was an awesome scene. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi. First of all, thanks for joining Twitter. You guys do a great job on that. We love that you interact with us so much, so thank you. Among all the other millions of things you do.
Thanks for letting us bitch to airlines.
That's
And not unfollowing us when we decide to do that.
I think you said your reason was great. You speak on behalf of everyone
Sure.
else on the plane who then they don't listen to. So I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Well, just real quick on that, the last time that I had a little something to say, the guy next to me was he actually said, he was like, I wish you could go on social media and actually make them listen to you. And I was like, and we were sitting next to each other, and we hadn't really introduced ourselves, and it was then when we were sitting on the tarmac for over 2 hours that I finally was like, we started bitching about it and this and that. And I introduced myself, and I was like, you know what? Watch this. And so I tweeted it out, and they instantly got back to me. And he was like, "Oh my God, who are you?"
And he goes,
And I go, "I'm nobody, but there's a few people out there who think I'm something, and they might be able to fight for me." So, yeah, so thank you guys for doing that. They actually found us a gate, and we were able to taxi in at deboard. I don't know if it was because of the Twitter stuff,
Oh, yeah.
but I will say that the pilot came on and was like, "Sorry folks, it's gonna be another hour." And then I get a direct message back from American Airlines. They're like, "We're doing what we can, you should know something shortly." And within about 10 minutes, they're like, "Oh, so gate just opened up, we're gonna pull in."
the pilot gets on the...
I'm not saying that it was that, but you know, it could have just been
The pilot got on the intercom actually and went, "Okay, cabin, apparently some guy named
Jensen Ackles
has started a fit, so they're letting us deplane."
I just wanted to get off and see my baby. Like I hadn't held my daughter in like 2 weeks, and so I apologize for you guys listening to us complain about it. But it's just, you know, it can be frustrating, as I'm sure those who travel know. Anyway, sorry. What was your question?
Yeah, no, what was your question?
Last Christmas, you tweeted a hilarious picture of the three of you all dressed up for Christmas. And someone said that they might have lost a bet to have to dress up as Santa and Mrs. Claus. Was there a bet, and what was the reason
No,
for that?
the wardrobe just put in our trailers like, "You're wearing this." Like, all right.
They waited until we, you know, it was like it was the final day of shooting before we broke for our 2.5 week holiday. And there's, for those who don't know, there's a fairly big holiday party that takes place on the set of Supernatural the last day of filming before we break. It's turned into this thing. People come from other shows. There is a massive, I don't know, actually a giveaway, a raffle. Thank you. There's a massive raffle that takes place. There's tons of money collected, goes to charity. It's a really cool thing. Well, people might start celebrating a little early in the day. So wardrobe just waited until we had started celebrating, and then they decided to put these outfits in our trailer and didn't say a word of it. So
They knew we were primed to make a bad decision.
yeah, they just waited until we were just right. Now, of course they'll put this on now. And we did. And I don't know why, and then next thing you know, I walk into the hair and makeup trailer, Jared's getting makeup put on his face, and I'm like, "Oh wow, we're really going for it, aren't we?" And then we all had a great time, and everybody has a good time, and Jared and Misha and I host the raffle, and there's music playing, and it's just a really fun time, so,
Nice.
yeah,
Thanks for a great Christmas card.
absolutely.
Thanks a lot.
Hi.
Hi.
You're both fairly new dads, so I was just wondering, what is the most important thing fatherhood has taught you so far?
I'm so sorry, you were right.
Complete capitulation.
Utter surrender, I think is what it is. This is gonna sound like I'm trying to keep a secret. You really don't know until you become a parent. You almost want to like apologize to your parents, and mine are here actually, so I'm sorry. They're somewhere. There's so many things that go on, and I read an interview one time with Matt Damon, and he had just had his second kid or his third kid or something. And I know this now because I'm really fresh with 2 kids. And I remember him saying that when you have a child, it's not like the child takes away your love for your work or your passions or your wife or spouse or whatever. It's just like your heart grows. And then he goes, when you have a second kid, you don't take love away from the first kid, your heart grows. It just grows a little bit. And you really, every priority just changes. And it's wonderful and it's terrifying. And I get a lot more scared, I'm scared of flying now. I'm like Dean from Phantom Traveler all of a sudden. Because I don't want to be without them, right? So, anyways, I'm all set.
I will say that it kind of taught me how, I guess, selfish I actually was. Just in the fact that why I did things that I did, a lot of it was, and I'm sure most of you can relate, a lot of it is directly, I do